So hello again everyone, welcome to this week's vlog. Once again today you catch me on the edge of a woodland at the moment, but I will be more into the woodland in a little while. But I've discovered just at the edge of the woodland here there's a little brook running alongside me, just here, this brook here, and I wanted to try and capture some compositions of that. Behind me I've got a tree that's lying down near to the brook itself, and I was thinking of using that as a leading line going through the image and use the brook itself, because there seems to be a bit of an S-curve in the brook just at that point near to where that tree is lying. So my idea was to use the tree that's lying down and the trees next to it either side, and use the brook as well, and use those two things as leading lines, the tree and the brook. I'm going to have to get down quite low with this one because there are trees on the other side of the brook that hang over, which are going to obscure the view of the shot, and I think it might be better with a wide angle lens getting lower down and capturing more of the brook closer up in the scene, and try and fill the scene with the brook itself. But the problem with that is that it may mean I kind of lose some of that curve that goes through the brook, so I'm going to have to try and wing it a little bit and see what I can do, see if I can find a decent composition just there. But as I'm talking to you now, if I turn the camera around and turn myself around, just behind me I've got some more trees on the edge of the brook that are standing on the sloping bank that leads down to the brook, and I may be considering using those as some sort of composition as well, because that kind of looks quite cool looking through there. The colours are amazing, the green of the trees and the dark brown of the leaves that are still lying from the autumn, so this could be quite an interesting shot. But also I'm thinking that further along where that lying tree is, just over my shoulder there, I'm thinking that maybe I can go to the other end of where that tree is lying and try and capture a composition looking back this way as well. So I've got about 2 or 3 little compositions here that I'm going to give a try. I'm going to set up now and see if I can capture those, and I'll show you the images in a little while. Okay, so I've moved on now, and I've moved to a spot where I've taken quite a few photos before. Some of my better shots that I've taken have been just over the lip of this road here, just behind me. Where you walk up there, just beyond those trees, I've taken a couple of good shots from that direction, pointing towards here. But I've also, on a couple of occasions, taken a shot from this particular spot to see if I can get a decent composition here. It doesn't always work out well, and often there are people walking through the scene and it's quite difficult to get a shot here. But I'm going to give it a try again today, and this time I've managed to find a composition a little bit different to what I would normally do from here, so maybe this will work out, hopefully, and I'll show you the images a little bit later. The shot that I've just taken uses these logs at the side of the road to lead the eye towards the trees and up towards the road at the side, and it kind of carries you through the image. But with this image I want to try and capture the depth of the image, so I want to try and capture these logs in focus and slightly further up this tree in focus, this one here, and then slightly further back to this tree here at the junction of the limb and the tree trunk. So I want to try and get 3 different focus points so that you can see the depth of field within this image. We've actually got a bit of a storm rattling through today and tomorrow, so it's getting a little bit windy this afternoon. And it's just starting to rain. I don't know whether I'll be able to get any more compositions depending on what the weather is due for the rest of this afternoon. But apparently it's supposed to be a lot worse tomorrow, so I have come out basically a day early to take this video so that I can capture some shots whilst the weather is still dry enough to be able to do it, but I don't think I'm going to get very much more time. So I'll carry on anyway, see if I can find anything else, but the weather is starting to close in a little bit. So I've just carried on walking a few hundred yards from where I last was, and I've spotted this tree behind me that I wanted to capture. I've taken a photo of this tree before from the other side of the tree, looking this way towards where I'm standing now, and it kind of frames the image quite nicely because you have that branch that comes out, that limb that comes out at the top of the tree there, and it cuts across the road, and from the other side what you get is that limb that's just there appears to join up with a tree that's just to my left here that you can't see at the moment. Let me see if I can turn that around. This tree here, literally just behind me, that's the tree that this limb seems to connect with if you're looking from the other side of the tree that I'm just photographing. And it kind of makes a really nice frame with the pathway running through the middle of the image and kind of turning off towards the left as it goes under the tree. It's quite a nice image, but instead I wanted to capture this from this side where I'm standing now, with the composition that you can see there. That's what I was looking at. I was hoping to try and capture it that way. I have actually taken some shots of that now already, so I'm going to move on and see if there's anything else that I could shoot. And while I've been standing here, I'm just going to turn right round again and I'll show you what I've noticed further on. Just in this little area here, just along here, further along the path and just off the edge of the path, there are a group of trees which have been coloured sort of an orangey gold kind of colour with the elements, and I'd like to go and capture a shot of those while I'm here. At the moment it seems really quiet in this area, and I've walked through here before and there's been thousands of people, so I think I've just got lucky today. It may even be to do with the weather, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I think this is probably going to be my last composition, so I'll go and capture that now, and then we'll see where we're going from here. So here is the composition that I was thinking of. Literally just behind me, just here, there are several trees that have all been coloured a golden orange. You might not be able to tell very well on this video, but as I look at the image, the composition looks perfect because of those golden trees. They are kind of standing out a little bit because all the other trees around them and in the area coloured green with moss and lichen, so seeing these things in this area is kind of unusual, but I'd love to get a picture of them while I'm here. Well, this is typical of me. After I took my last shot, what I hadn't realised is I was standing on a little mound in the ground, which was where I was in between two trees, and the tree roots had grown up out of the ground and kind of all intertwined together and created this mound that I was standing on. While I was packing up, putting everything away, I turned around and nearly fell off this mound, nearly fell right over. You guys would have enjoyed that if you've been watching that. Thankfully I didn't record any of it on video. Anyway, that's probably the last of my video now for this week, so I'm going to head off home and try and beat the rain and wind, and I'll see you again on another video very soon. If you've enjoyed this video, and in fact if you've got this far into the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next week.